Hi class. Can't believe it's already week 4. It's pretty exciting. um, but I'm excited to talk about this week about the differences between positional power and personal power, and its impacts on leading. And one good example that when we were reading one of the articles about servant leadership really comes hand in hand with that personal power, where you're serving others, and that's where that personal power comes from. It comes from the followers. And one great example that they even brought, they put into the article by Sayadi, was the example of Jesus Christ, and how he was a servant leader, and he wasn't there to command but instead serve the people. And yeah, that is a biblical story, and it is one based on religion, but I think it's a good anecdote to kind of tie into the servant leadership and that personal power, because that personal power is what drives that servant leadership. And so I think what's important is that self-awareness for a person with personal power to have, so that way they can influence others and be a mentor. They also build on knowledge and interpersonal skills. And someone who has that positional power, that position can easily be taken away and then they lose that power. But somebody who has personal power will still have the power, even if they're not in that positional or if they're not in that position. And something about that personal power is that you will still have your loyal subordinates. You'll still have your supporters. Whereas positional power, you won't really have your supporters, because you're not in that position anymore, that position of power. And that's where I believe that organizations should be investing in their employees that they have now, into their growth within the within the organization, so that way they can build that personal power, instead of just bringing someone outside of the organization and just putting them in that position with them to only have that positional power. I think once somebody has been at the bottom of the hierarchy, it does lead them to have more compassion, to have more sympathy, to have more knowledge, to then build on their skills, and also invest in themselves to have that personal power. They will have their supporters and loyal people that are around them to make sure that they're equipped to do the job and to lead and to facilitate matters, especially when it comes to decision making and delegation. And I think that's where that personal power becomes really important in people who start at the bottom, to then build on their skills and move up the hierarchy within an organization. I think some people who are trying to get into higher positions with their masters, it's a great way to build onto that experience, so that way they can have the supplement of the masters on top of their experience, so that way they can have that knowledge, and to have the personal skills and all the skills that are needed to move your way up and be a great leader. And yeah, bye. Have a great week.